Good to see you all. Hi and welcome. And of course, we're really happy to see you all here. And thanks for coming here and listening to us. Today, we will tell you about our experience of working with military technology. We will talk a bit about some of the capabilities we develop and the technology behind. People at Saab, they put a lot of work and heart into the development of capabilities and technology every day, and with the aim to keep people and society safe. I'm Veronica Lundstedt. I'm head of a business unit called Surface Sensor Solutions. We are about 2,500 employees working with development, production, and delivery to customers in Sweden and also in other countries. And with me today, I have a colleague that working with I would say, the most highlighted area within Saab, for not saying within defense.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelica Persson. I'm the head of what we call the system integration for Counter-UAS section. What we do every day is putting together different kind of products to counter drones, which is quite of a hot topic nowadays. And I totally agree with Veronica. We have a lot of colleagues that goes to work every day with the right purpose in keeping people and society safe. We're gonna take you on a little bit of a journey, and the main purpose that we want to respond in the end of this presentation is, can we rely on technology in an uncertain world?
But from the very start, we have been here since 1937, so almost 90 years since Saab was founded. Back then, we were founded because that, with the aim, of course, from Sweden, to provide Sweden with military aircraft. Back then, it was very important to have its own defense industry to be able to stay neutral in the war. Since then, Saab has developed to be a global leader, I would say, global leader in defense and security solutions. And part of that, we still provide Sweden with military aircraft. We have a strong base in Sweden. We operate in many different cities in Sweden. But what you might not know is that we have operations on all continents in the world. And with that, I would say, with that base, we also have a good knowledge of the changing needs for the customers, and that information we bring in to our innovation and development. Looking at today's news, we hear and see that it comes rockets, fighters, drones into different countries' airspace. And we see that countries are fighting for democracy and their freedom. And we believe that we have solutions that can help countries. In this crisis, also threats develops very fast and also methods used. And for us as a provider of defense equipment, we need to have a development working just as fast or even faster. We have one of the most visited homepages at Saab.com is called "Do Saab Still Make Cars?" And that is a very, very simple answer to that. No. That is the answer. But I would like to give you a glimpse of what we're actually doing. So we will show you a very short commercial from Saab in Germany. So please.
Herzlich willkommen bei Saab. Wie kann ich Ihnen weiterhelfen?
Ich möchte meinen Wagen zur Inspektion abgeben.
Das tut mir leid. Aber mit Autos haben wir schon seit Jahren nichts mehr zu tun.
Wie meinen Sie das? Was machen Sie denn dann?
Also eigentlich machen wir... Also eigentlich alles. Außer Autos.
So from now on, you will use the sometimes. I've been practicing.
You have been practicing. Yes. I need to do my practice as well. I don't think I'm as good as you are. But I think it's a funny video, and it's also this video gives me goosebumps when I watch it. It's world-class technologies that we bring to the table, and the company Saab is, from a Swedish perspective, quite of a large company, but on the world market we are quite of a small company, and that I often feel proud when thinking about that we are not so many people producing, developing, and maintaining all of these systems. And I think there's a way of thinking about what we do from a technological perspective when adapting to the future and why we are doing it. A lot lays in how the threat picture and the politics are aiming out what the future will look like, and we need to develop all the technology to basically fulfill all the requirements that the future has. But nobody really knows, and it's our mission to find out what we will try to develop today that will fulfill all the purposes from a perspective of many years going ahead. We put quite of a high value in designing and developing technology that is secure, reliable, and also on the front edge to make sure that we basically support the missions, that we solve the complex problems in a super simple way. It's not always easy, but I think being in a team with a lot of skilled people, it makes it quite fun and also quite easy. If we are talking about the threats, what we are facing and what we are thinking about when we are developing products or capabilities, there will always be these traditional threats like aircrafts and helicopters and missiles. They are developing over time, but we are still considering them as traditional threats. They've been here for quite some time, and they will still be here for quite some time, what we foresee. And we also see the recent developments, like the rockets, artillery, and mortars, and also the drones entering the battlefield. We think that they will stay, but they will also evolve more rapidly than ever before. And this is what we need to design our products to face, to be able to counter the threats as efficiently as possible. And there's also been a revival of electronic warfare. And sometimes when I first heard about electronic warfare, I joined Saab in 2018 and worked in this area. And it was like thinking about a little bit of black magic. It's like something out there in the ether. It's a lot of power and electromagnetic waves going everywhere. We use the technology every day, but you'll never see it if everything works properly. But all the disturbances in the GPS navigation, that's in the electronic warfare spectrum. And if it's not working, it will be harder for us to live our everyday life. So it's a super relevant area, and it's also used to threat other countries and also to defend our countries, to try to degrade the opponent. So it's not no longer that black magic area for me, but it's still a very thrilling area, and I think this is one of the basic principles for us when we are developing a lot of products that we need to consider. They need to work in every situation. And what is it that we are facing in the future? And how can we try to figure out what we need to develop today that is going to work in a couple of years or in a couple of months? Because it's changing more rapidly. And the technology supports us in a better way, but not only us, everyone else's as well. So we need to lay on the forefront. It's not always easy, but we try to take the most complex problems and make them as understandable as possible. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey on how we often do. And this is one of my favorite areas, so bear with me if I drag out a little bit long. But in countering the drones, we often talk about creating time to act. And what does that mean? It means that our mission is to try to deliver capabilities that creates time to act for anyone that is using them, for their own survivability, but also to be able to counter the drones. So looking at the slide behind me, you can see different kind of threats. They come in different speed, different altitude. They are more or less maneuverable, which means that they can move in different patterns or quite linear. And they can come just one pieces or in swarms. And this kind of takes the context, how and when will we see it? When can we detect the target? And depending on when we detect it and in which speed they are facing us, it can be a matter of seconds before they are basically hitting us. So the more far away from us that we are basically seeing them, the more time we will have to act upon them. And then we will also create time for anyone sitting in the operational seat and making the right decisions. Because everything is in the end about decisions as well. So we're trying to basically take a complex problem, trying to figure out what is the most important aspect for this, and then trying to find products and features that will all in the sum bring up and basically bring capability to the end user. And what's also interesting is that we are often talking about that there is no silver bullet. Because this, we're gonna dig into that a little bit. We have radars. We produce really good radars. But radars are pushing out energy in the ether. They work like a dolphin. They push out a lot of energy in the ether and then listen into what the response looks like, trying to create situational awareness. But every system has their pros and cons. And with this different kind of threats, we need to increase the capability of detection and also increase the capability of basically counter the threats as well. And some might be able to operate quite well in very flat land or in an urban environment, and some of them will work properly in forest or terrain. But there's not one system that will solve every problem. So there's no single bullet. And it's the joint and combined capability that will solve the problem as easiest as possible in the end. But this is one way for us to think about the problem. And then we need to take this high-level requirements and put it into development. And that's your topic to talk a little bit about.
Yes. Yes. We develop our solutions just as Angelica said, the threats are developing all the time, and of course we need to develop our solutions also all the time. Previously, long time ago, very long time ago, I would say that our solutions were only hardware defined. And as time has gone by, software has taken more and more space. We all know that has happened in all industry. So nowadays, I would say that our capabilities are defined in software. But this doesn't, however, mean that we have lost attention on hardware and that it isn't any area of innovation and development in our industry, because we need to be cutting edge in both. The hardware is and will remain to be the reliable, battle-tested platform where we apply software for capabilities. And software can bring capabilities and features to us such as advanced analytics, autonomous decision support, which may be very important going forward when threat is coming faster and faster and when we see these swarms of drones. And what's also very important, of course, with software, as we all know, is the rapid update possibilities and also the flexibility for customers over the years that uses our products. Because our product stays with the customer for a very long time, and the threats will not be the same today as they will be tomorrow. So in Saab, we have something that says everything is core. Not just software, not just hardware, everything is core. And Angelica and I will now highlight some areas, some technology areas we work with. And I will start with one that I've found very interesting and also very fundamental when it comes to defense products, and that is the physical requirements. Our products, they are designed for both being able to operate in desert climate and in Arctic climate. That's the same product, desert and Arctic climate. And I think all of us can imagine the cooling of electronics that is needed when you're operating under the sun in the desert. And we can also imagine the the man-machine interface that we need to design to be able to support anyone that has this big warm gloves on in an Arctic climate. So that is some of the requirements we need to be able to handle. And I also think that we can imagine the forces on our products when a mine explodes on the sea. And our systems has to survive that and be able to deliver data to the operators even after. And as we showed in the German commercial, we have products on high altitude and we have submarines in the depth of the sea. So with that comes no easy requirements to fulfill. So the physical requirements still remains very, very interesting.
And bringing those physical requirements and into how much data there is to be found in new products. Working in defense, you have to consider this like a big organization, and there is this delegation and power of who has the mandate to decide what and when. And if you are like a mission leader sitting in a central or decentralized out somewhere, you have your mandate, and then you have the operator screen with the human-machine interface where you need to try to understand what's out there. What is it that we are facing? And there's this massive data streams going into that kind of systems. And we need to, when we are designing our system, try to make that situational awareness picture as easy as possible to understand. And one way of doing that is using AI and machine learning, and also trying to sort and filter out all the unnecessary data. Because what we are facing is that we want as much data as possible, but we want the right data at the right time, at the right place, because if you have too much data or if the data is compromised, it will be super hard for the decision maker to take the right decision. So there's like two sides of this. A lot of data, we are happy, but is it the right data? We're not really sure. How can we cope with that? And this is one of the problems that we are solving every day in our work, and that's kind of a thrilling journey to do. And in combination with all the physical requirements as well, because it's not only using your eyes to see something. Sometimes you need to push buttons, and then you need to be able to do it in any weather, basically. And we have another topic as well that I would like to highlight, and that is basically how you get all of this data from one place to another, encrypted in a safe and reliable way, where we have the connectivity. And here comes the thing about electronic warfare, the black magic in, once again. Which radius do you want to use? Do you want to use SATCOM, or do you want to have fiber and tethered? And when we are discussing these different technologies, we always end up, it's not one or the other. It's a layered capability that you can use in different use cases. It depends on in which situation you are. But then we are facing, how can we make this solution cost effective so we can spread it out to a lot of people? But that's also one thing that we are facing every day and that we are doing quite good. Do you have something more?
Yes, I have. Another important area for us is to work with circularity and sustainability. I think I mentioned that our product stays with the customer for a very long time. In my experience, it can be between 20 and 30 years that the customer will use our product. And that is good when it comes to sustainability. Of course, that is good when we look at the materials used and also the power consumption during production. But it also put a lot of pressure on us to always develop more and more energy efficient solutions so that we have a small footprint as possible during the life cycle of our products. And that is, of course, also a very important requirement from the customer. It's not just us being environmental cautious, it's also about the customers. So that is one. And also, I think it's important to highlight that the technology we develop and use, we also perform research together with the universities in all these areas. And we collaborate with many of the universities in Sweden, but also in universities worldwide. For example, in US, UK, and many more countries. Also, we take part in European studies and other international collaborations within industry. And we do it because that we see this is essential for us to keep high speed in the technology development to be able to handle the tough requirements. Oh, this is one of the radar systems that you were talking about.
Yes.
Yes. Recent years, we have seen that demand for defense products has increased enormously. And as I started actually, we help to keep people and society safe by deliver to our customers, so that the customers are able to protect themselves. And this has put a high demand on us to also build our organization. So the recent years we have built capacity in production, in development for all product areas within Saab. So maybe you have met us in some new cities around in Sweden. We also have working with efficiency measures, of course. It's about automation, digitalization, new tools in production development and in testing. And all this to secure the deliveries to our customers that are the ones that protect our society.
And moving forward, I would say accelerating and trying to understand how. I mean, I have some colleagues that I would be like keen to clone. I would like to have more of them, but that's not possible. So we need to try to find ways of increasing our delivering capacity and development cycles in other ways. And I think what you mentioned there with tools is really a thing that we're working hard with. And also what keeps me thrilled every day is that, as Veronica mentioned, we are doing everything from fighter aircrafts to submarines and everything in between. There's a lot of knowledge within the company, and we can accelerate with new and more efficient tools, meeting the future in a more efficient way. And that's basically transforming in how we are working. And I often think that if we take like 1 + 1, we always need to think that that must equals 3 or more. So competent people with development environments with tools that support us. That's a really great way facing and meeting the future. I'm going to do a segue into trying to do it a little bit more detailed in regards to what I'm working with. There's been a lot of buzz regarding what Saab has done in the counter-drone area. And this approximately 1 year ago, it's starting to be a little bit of a media fuss regarding a concept that we call Loki. And there was this message, and I kind of when I woke up this Saturday morning and I had my coffee, which is a very important moment for me every day, and I just looked into the news and it said from idea to effect within 84 days. That was the highlight of what we had done in the counter-drone area, or Counter-UAS as we called it. And I was just like, 84 days, yeah. From quite of a heavy industry, that's quite fast. But then I also thought, but hey, we were home celebrating Christmas during this time. So it was 2 weeks when we didn't work at all. And how did we manage to do that? That was quite of a journey, but I think we always need people that tries to make the impossible possible every day when we go to work, and then we solve problems together. It's not always easy problems, but we solve them and we do it together. The journey began, but as you can understand, everyone working in the defense sector understand that it's quite hard to do things quite fast and quite smooth. But the headline was we did it in 84 days, and that was world news on the defense sector. From the civilian market, I can imagine that some of you sit here and just like 84 days. That's tons of time. But in the defense sector, it's quite fast because you need to have the stamp that it basically works in every environment, and that takes a little bit of time. But trying to provoke a little bit about how we're doing things and trying to develop capabilities and not only products. What we did was, when I got the opportunity and when I drove the first sprint in this project, I looked within Saab's wide portfolio. Okay, what do we have inside Saab? Which key products can I use within the company? We are world class in radars. The organization that Veronica is responsible, and they are super good. We have one that we call Giraffe 1X, and why they are called giraffes, that will We can have the questions in the booth afterwards, right?
Yes.
You will respond on every
Yes,
one
I
of
will
them.
respond.
But it's kind of in the eyes and ears, what this canvas behind me tries to describe. We need eyes and ears to detect, classify, and hopefully track the targets. Doesn't matter which kind of targets, we need a combination of different kind of sensors, the eyes and ears, to be able to do that. And we needed to find products on the market that was available and proven to make sure that we could feed the right data into the brain. And this is where the decision making, the operator system that I spoke about before, where we process all the data, we try to figure out what is it that we are basically seeing, try to make something that is understandable out of that. And then we have the hard kill and soft kill effectors. And the hard kill effector is basically everything that says boom. We try to shoot them down. The soft kill is within the electronic warfare, the black magic. Can we neutralize them in an efficient way? And this is the preferred way of trying to neutralize and increase the survivability for us. But they in combination is quite efficient as well. So each box of these ones are quite complex. And then you put them together and try to make the full chain work together. And that's when the complexity starts and someone needs to solve it. So I stood there a little bit sweaty and was just like, which day did I sign up for this one? Did I really say yes? And I did, so I needed to do that. But I think having a company that are super good in producing world-class products efficiently, and then having someone responsible to glue them together and basically focus on, can we add capabilities when we are connecting all of the systems? And we also, you can see on the pictures, you can see the vehicles where we basically have our systems mounted upon them. And they are movable. So they are able to listen in and trying to detect all kinds of targets on the move continuously over time. And we can also affect towards the target. That brings, I mean, if you're using your Google Maps and you want to have efficient from the GPS signals, you know that sometimes it's quite easy to have it super detailed. But sometimes it's quite hard for the signal to actually reach where you are. We are facing the same problems within this area as well. We need to solve them to be able to make sure that we deliver capabilities that is bringing detailed and sufficient information to the decision maker. So there was a challenge, and I would say that having the support and having all the skilled people, the 84 days, I mean the team behind it, it was a lot of fun going to work, but it was also a little bit, I mean, everyone was not scared, but felt like, did we really sign up for this? But then it's by that time that you really are building the team, and the journey has only just begun. And I think having the opportunity to work within this area, I mean, you can read in the news every day. It feels like you really have a purpose when you go to work. And I think a lot of my colleagues feels just the same. And that makes me happy. So, summing up a little bit, when I started Saab, I was quite happy that I had a lot of role models to look up to. But I would give you a little bit of a picture of who am I. I joined Saab 2018, electrical engineering by heart. I have my master in control and automation. That was quite of a hard education for me. I found it was super hard. But I was also very proud when I finished. And then entering Saab, and then I was systems engineer, and I took on more roles. And I think the skill sets and the opportunities that you are basically giving within Saab is quite... I feel proud over the company. We work a lot with how we are doing things, what we are doing, and core values for our company. And that has supported me since the start within the company. I go to work leading the group, creating the system of system solution to counter the drone threats. It's not an easy journey, but to be surrounded with a lot of skilled people makes my everyday work super fun. Who are you?
Well, I said my name before. Yes, I started my career at Ericsson before the turn of the millennium. I had then finished my Master of Science in Automation and Mechatronics at Chalmers University of Technology. It's quite funny that we both have a master in automation. We have recently discovered that, actually. But when I started at Ericsson, I very early came into management positions. So my first position was to work as a project manager for a development project. And then later on I came into management for different units. 2006 I started at Saab. And I would say what has driven me is my curiosity to learning new things, and also to maximize my contribution actually to the company I work for. So I've been managing in different areas. It has been in production, as I said, development, research together with universities, business development, strategy. And since 2020, I'm leading more business units, and since 2023, this business unit that I'm heading right now. I also believe in always continuously develop yourself. It's not about just about developing products. It's also about developing your skills all the time. So that's what I'm working for with this large unit that I'm having, is that we always continuously develop how we work and the leadership we work with. I feel a very strong purpose for what we are doing at Saab, and I'm proud of the products we deliver. And I'm also still fascinating, after all these years, I'm still fascinated by the complex solution that we develop. I think that is, as an engineer, even though I work with leadership for all these years as an engineer, I'm still very fascinated about the complex solutions. So that's who I am.
And I think adding to that, we had a brief chat before entering the stage, and just to exemplify, you are the boss over 2,500 people.
Yes?
And you told me,
yes,
because we were discussing a little bit about how do you do in that role, and how are you leading, and how are you leading by example, and you describe a situation for me that you're trying to get out the very best of each and every individual, and for that you need to lead by example. You need to support people, and you're not the boss that everyone is bringing a problem to, because you're trying to get them to solve the problems themselves and supporting them in doing that. And I got so inspired. I mean, I'm not the boss over 2,500 people. I have another responsibility, which is complex in another way. But having these kind of discussions and role models, that has been important for me since I began, and it still is. But now we are trying to sum up, because we had a question in the beginning, right?
Yes, I remember. So now is the shivering moment. Well, we will answer the question, can you rely on technology in an uncertain world? And my answer is that our solution has been used for a long period of time in war and crisis situations around the world. Our radar systems and other sensors have watched over large amount of sensitive installations, and they have even watched over large sport events like the Olympic Games. We were there in Paris. We have customers such as South Korea. They have many of our radar systems deployed at the border towards North Korea. And by this, they create the time to act, as you were talking about, Angelica. And they also are able to keep their people and society safe. So with that base, I say that we can rely on technology in an uncertain world. You?
I would say yes. But I would add that behind every technology, there's also people contributing to the technology. So one of our most valued assets is the people. I would say, I would totally agree with you. We can rely on the technology supported by people, skilled people that goes to work with the mission every day. So it's a clear yes. I just bet you're not surprised that we would say yes in the end, but I still think it's a yes. So we set up a goal entering into this presentation today to give you a little bit of a journey, a little bit of different perspectives of what we are facing every day. And we also had a goal that we would not take longer than 45 minutes. So I'm going to check, and I can see that we have 3 minutes more. So that's within line, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm quite happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us.
Proud of us.
Yes.
Proud of you, proud of me. So since it's many people in this room, if you have questions, please feel free to join us at our booth. We will be there for some time, and we also have a lot of skilled colleagues on place today that will help out as well. Happy that you did not fall asleep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.